Like, there's a video that I want to do, something that I want to talk about. But before I do, I want to talk to my 50-year-old for a brief minute. I want to get on y'all butts like we got on them churn butts. Because this is what I need you to do. Because we got to start being hard-headed and we got to take care of ourselves. So you 50-year-old and above, you go look in your mirror and you start doing this every morning. You tell yourself, if you got high blood pressure, you go look in that mirror and tell yourself, I don't want to have no stroke. I don't want to see my arm sagging, and I don't want to be limping on one side of my body. I don't want that to happen to me. You tell yourself that every morning. Say, I don't want to have no stroke. And I don't want my arm and half my body to be paralyzed and my face sagging. Tell yourself that. If you got sugar, you go tell yourself in that mirror that I don't want my toes cut off. And I don't want them to have to cut off my leg. And keep telling yourself, self gonna start doing what the fuck it's supposed to do. You're gonna start eating right. And you're gonna start doing what them, taking your medicine like you're supposed to, and doing what them doctors tell you to do. You're gonna put and your high blood pressure, you're gonna put all that stuff down. If it's smoking, if it's damn drinking, eating pork, or whatever, they tell you, cut that diet out. And tell yourself, I don't wanna have no stroke, because you don't. And you tell yourself with diabetes and sugar that you don't want. Tell yourself, I don't want that to happen to me. I'm gonna do like them people say. And start telling yourself that. And start doing like they say. So I'll put this up because the people I want to talk to, they don't need this. It's enough of that. So who I want to talk to here is because there are some of you out there, and I'm very serious about this. There are some people out there, you're going through something, and nobody knows you're going through it. Nobody knows. And you feel that you can't tell anyone. You feel that you cannot tell no one about it. You went through something, as a child, and now you're still going through that. You went through something, and you're going through it every day. Nobody knows that you're going through it. You can't tell no one. And you try to go to bed at night and sleep it off, but when you wake up every morning, it's still there. Try alcohol, try to drink it off. As drunk as you want and you sober, it's still there. You're still going through it. You don't got high as a kite, got on dope, smoke enough dope, high as a kite. When you sober up, when you come down, you're still going through it. It's still there. You're still going through that same thing. You're going through it. Because you felt unwanted and you felt unloved. And so you tried giving yourself to going from man to man. You tried going from woman to woman. And went to homosexuality because maybe your daddy wasn't there, or maybe your mother wasn't there. You turned to homosexuality because you wanted your father or you wanted your parents. And, you felt unloved, unwanted, and maybe someone abused you. Maybe someone touched you, and now you're going through something and nobody knows about it because you hide it. And you won't talk about it, and you won't tell anybody of your pain and how you felt when you was left and abandoned. But you're an adult now. You're no longer that child. And there are some of you who were given away at birth. And it hurt now. It hurts now. Some of you were adopted. Some of you were given to foster homes, given to other members of the family. And some of you, when you got old enough, you ran from town to town. You ran from city to city, running away from it. From man to man, you married to married, you're running away from it. Hiding it. Just going through it and nobody knows your pain. Nobody knows. because you won't talk about it. You're hiding it. But you're an adult now. You're not that child. And people need to hear that child's story. Huh? People need to listen to what happened to that child. They need to listen to you. You are the voice of that child. That child, you're an adult now. That child needs you more than it ever needed you. You can't let that child down. You can't. You have to be the voice of that child. That child needs to know that now that you're an adult, that you're saying to it, I'm gonna never let that happen to you no more. You ain't gonna never. And that child said that you ain't hiding it. You can't hide that child. You can't hide it. That child needs to know that you're not hiding them. Come on, we're gonna talk. We're gonna tell. The world needs to hear it. And people need to listen to that child's story. But you're hiding it. And you can't. That child needs you more now than it ever did. When you was alone in your room crying and hiding and nobody knew. Now you are an adult. You're no longer that child. But that child that's inside you that's hurting, they need you more now than they ever did. Go find your mama if your mama left you. Go find your daddy if your daddy left you. Go find and talk to that person that hurt you or touched you. But what that child needs more than anything now, because they're hiding in you, they need you as an adult to show them that, oh, hell no, I'm an adult. I'm going to protect you. Don't worry. Nobody going to never hurt you no more, touch you, or abandon you, or act like they don't love you or want you. You got to let that child inside you know that. That ain't going to never happen to goddamn again. Then I let them know that they ain't got to worry about that no more. And they don't need you to find your daddy to come hug you, crying and shit on some goddamn Karama or some one of them damn, or whatever that other white guy name on there, crying on his show, and you are the daddy and all that shit. They need you to stop hiding them. Don't hide them no more. They hurt. They need you to fix them. They need you. Don't hide them. You are their voice. Be the voice of that child. Because, see, all of us in our lifetime, all of us, at some point are on a journey trying to find out who we are. You knew who that child was and what happened to that child a long time ago. You been knew that child. You knew what happened to that child and why that child's hurt and why that child didn't say nothing when he was little, scared, because it felt defenseless. He or she felt defenseless, unprotected, unloved, unwanted. It was running from this to that, giving this up. And now you are an adult. You are no longer that child. But that child needs you to be their voice. You're an adult now. And that child needs to know that you love them, no matter who else, that you love them. And that you're not going to hide what happened to them, that you're going to tell what happened to them when they, when they was that child, when you were that child. They need you. You're an adult now. You're no longer that child. You're no longer that child. You're an adult. But you're going through that, whatever it was. You're still going through it. You're still hiding it. You still won't speak about it. You still won't tell that child's story. Tell it. Heal that. So you'll heal that child in you that was hurt. You understand? And I just wanted to do that because a lot of people out there, all y'all that's hiding, hurting inside, and going through something the world don't know what you're going through. You're going to work every day, probably married, got kids, all that, going through all that, and you're hiding it inside, and nobody don't know that hurt. You're the voice of that child, and you are the person right now that has to protect that child. And you have to let that child know that that shit ain't gonna never happen again, cuz. You ain't gotta worry about that. I got you. Oh, I got you. That shit ain't gonna never happen again. And if I can help it, it ain't gonna happen to nobody around me. You have to, Be that adult. And I'm not gonna say too much more on it. I'm gonna leave it at that. And y'all 50 and older, yeah, that's it now. Don't get me. Get in that mirror and tell yourself, I don't want that to happen to me. Thank y'all for listening.